It's a small strip, about 25 miles long and 4 to 7 miles wide, and it's got about 1.5 million of people, and 80% of its population is made up of refugees. Those refugees live in 8 refugee camps throughout Gaza. It's one of the most densely populated areas of the world. And the situation in Gaza, unfortunately, has been going from bad to worse in the past 2 years that I have been there. When I arrived in Palestine, there had just been elections in 2006, and Hamas had been elected for the government. And the international community did not recognize their authority, and they put an international boycott on the Palestinian Authority, which meant that they cut all international aid to Palestine. This further led to the division of the political situation in Palestine, and the conflict between the two leading parties, Fatah and Hamas, grew and intensified to the point that they were fighting in the streets. And in June of 2007, Hamas took over the whole of Gaza Strip. And as a result of that, Israel declared the Gaza Strip as hostile entity. And after declaring Gaza Strip hostile territory, the 6 closures that regulate the movement of goods and people in and out of Gaza have been very much tightened, and this is making the lives of people in Gaza very difficult. There are 2 big issues that affect their lives very much. The first one is the closure, which means that they can't really get out of Gaza. Around 60% of the youth we've been working with have never been outside of Gaza. They have relatives in Jerusalem, relatives in the West Bank, but they've never been able to travel. Closure means that not a lot of raw materials and goods are coming in, and people who have businesses in Gaza are not able to sell their products outside. So unemployment has become a very big issue, and the breadwinners of the households have lost their jobs. This has meant that their families has become a lot poorer. And for university students, this might mean that they will not be able to pay their tuition fees anymore. It might also mean that they don't even have money for transport to the university. This makes their lives very difficult. We give 2 or 3 months food rations in return for so many hours of community work or training that people attend. We also do work with young people. We work with schools. We have a program called Value Building Education that complements the civic education curriculum with co-curricular activities that are implemented in and outside of the school environment. The young people talk about democracy, they talk about social change and justice issues, and they also talk about peace within the Palestinian community, about accepting differences, accepting the other, and about nonviolent principles of conflict resolution. What the young people want is not further division. They want national unity. They think that this internal political conflict is harming their national cause of building a statehood for themselves, of gaining their independence. They say that in the past we used to be united and we used to be working to build our country or gain our independence. Right now, all our energy seems to be wasted in this national conflict, and it's also harming our international image. That's how they see it. CRS runs several programs in West Bank and Gaza. They could find out more about these projects and see if they could support them in any way. There are programs that try to bring young people in West Bank and Gaza and young people in the United States together. One of them is called Cyber Bridges. It links high school age students with each other, and they go through a series of bridges that help them get to know each other and break down some stereotypes that exist between the two sides. Palestinian young people think that Americans think they're all terrorists, so they do want to change that stereotype and make a difference, and I think it also helps young people in the United States to get to know more about the lives of young people living in refugee camps, witnessing quite a bit of violence every day, and struggling with all kinds of restrictions in their lives. There are also programs called Global Solidarity Network that bridges university students from the United States and youth in Palestine. They choose a theme and they discuss this theme over a period of time, and then they have opportunities to actually see each other through video conferencing at certain points throughout the life of the project. There are opportunities to support people in Bethlehem, for example, who make their living on producing olive wood products. CRS has a catalog for the work of human hands, and they could support these people and their income generation activities by buying from their products through CRS.